dealers can't give these bikes away. Riders are calling them money pits, and one of them, a $13,000 paperweight. These are the 10 motorcycles you should absolutely not buy in 2025. Motorcycles are piling up in showrooms across the country, and not because they're selling like hotcakes. In fact, these bikes are tanking in value, sitting unsold for months, and leaving owners with nothing but regret. If you're planning to buy a motorcycle in 2025, pay close attention, because what we're about to show you could save you thousands in repairs, depreciation, and disappointment. The KTM 1290 Superduke GT. When the KTM 1290 Superduke GT first roared onto the scene, it was marketed as the ultimate weapon for sport touring enthusiasts. A bike that blended brute power with long-haul comfort. At its heart was a 1,301 cubic centimeter V-twin engine cranking out a monstrous 175 horsepower, wrapped in KTM's signature aggressive styling that practically screamed performance. It had the tech to match too, cornering ABS, a lightning-fast quick shifter, cruise control, and even heated grips for those chilly early morning rides. Riders were promised a high-performance touring machine that didn't compromise on thrill or comfort. But in 2025, that promise has faded fast. Despite its premium package, the Superduke GT is now one of the hardest bikes to justify buying. With a retail price hovering near $20,000, it's becoming nearly impossible to recommend, especially when you consider that bikes like the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT offer nearly all the same features for nearly half the cost. For $11,500, the Tracer gives you cornering ABS, ride modes, cruise control, and heated grips, and it does it without the baggage of expensive European maintenance. And that's where the Superduke GT truly starts to fall apart. Ownership costs are sky high. Riders are reporting frequent issues, overheating engines, electrical gremlins that refuse to go away, and clutch systems wearing out far earlier than expected. These aren't isolated complaints either. Forums are full of frustrated owners sharing stories of breakdowns and repair bills. One Reddit user claimed their used Superduke GT was in the shop more than it was on the road, and after just 1 year, they were already $2,000 deep in repair costs. Even the used market isn't saving this bike. Dealers have started aggressively discounting leftover models, slashing prices to $11,600 just to move inventory. And yet, they're still sitting unsold. Buyers are getting wise to the hidden costs and long-term frustrations. If you're looking for a fast, feature-rich touring bike in 2025, there are better paths to take. The Kawasaki Ninja 1000 SX offers rock-solid reliability, better fuel efficiency, and a much more wallet-friendly experience without sacrificing performance. In short, the KTM 1290 Superduke GT might have once been the king of the road, but now it's a throne that's better left empty. The Triumph Bonneville Bobber. The Triumph Bonneville Bobber was introduced with a blend of retro charm and modern muscle. With a 1200cc engine delivering 77 horsepower, solo seat, and that signature minimalist bobber silhouette, it tried to capture the essence of vintage British style in a modern package. When it first dropped at $13,500, it turned heads. But in 2025, this bike is struggling to stay relevant. Dealerships across the country are stuck with inventory that's been collecting dust for over a year, even after price cuts bringing it down to $11,500. Few are interested. Used models, they're floating around the $8,000 mark, but aren't moving either. Why the fall? The bobber craze is fading fast. Riders are shifting toward more versatile machines like the KTM 890 Duke or BMW F 900 GS, bikes that offer more practicality for the money. Meanwhile, the Bonneville Bobber feels more like a fashion statement than a functional ride. One Triumph seller admitted he's frustrated. Another rider on social media said trading the Bobber for an Africa Twin was the best decision they ever made, because the Bobber was just for looks. If you're looking for value or versatility in 2025, this bike isn't it. The Yamaha V-Star 1100. Regret alert, I thought I scored the deal of the decade with the Yamaha V-Star 1100, but I wish someone had warned me. You see, back in the early 2000s, the V-Star 1100 wasn't just a cruiser, it was a statement. You got that classic retro vibe, 1,063 cubic centimeters of smooth V-twin power, shaft drive for low maintenance, and a price that didn't wreck your wallet, around $7,000. Riders loved it because it looked like a Harley but ran like a Toyota. But fast forward to 2025, and this once loved machine, it's basically a paperweight with wheels. The V-Star 1100 was discontinued in 2009. Since then, the market's moved on. Fuel-injected cruisers like the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 have taken over, boasting tech like ABS, digital displays, and emissions compliance. Meanwhile, the V-Star's carbureted engine is getting flagged in places like California. Want it street legal? Hope you've got deep pockets for mods. And the value? Brutal. One guy bought a mint condition model in 2022 for $4,000. Listed it last month for $1,500. No bites, even with fresh paint. If you're thinking of buying one out of nostalgia, I get it. That chrome, that rumble, it pulls you in. But be warned, it's a maintenance black hole, and every part you need is either marked up 500% on eBay or completely out of stock. It's not 2003 anymore. The Yamaha V-Star 1100 had its time. But in 2025, it's a cautionary tale, not a comeback. The Honda Shadow Phantom. For over a decade, the Honda Shadow Phantom was a go-to for riders who wanted a sleek, blacked-out cruiser with Honda reliability. Its 745 cubic centimeter engine and 44 horsepower made it easy to ride, and its low-slung silhouette gave it serious cruiser attitude. Priced at around $7,500 new, it seemed like a solid deal. But by 2025, the Shadow Phantom has become a ghost of its former self. The bike hasn't seen a real update in over 10 years, and today's riders expect more. Standard ABS, better mileage than 48 miles per gallon, and a modern display instead of its outdated analog gauges. Meanwhile, Chinese competitors like the Bonneville 502C are offering similar specs at lower prices with flashier tech. You can now find used Shadow Phantoms for as low as $3,500, and even then, they're sitting unsold. Loyal Honda fans may keep this bike alive for nostalgia's sake, but new buyers are looking elsewhere, especially toward the Rebel 1100, which features updated tech, more power, and better resale value. Unless you're a hardcore fan of the Shadow's old school vibe, skip this one in 2025. It's being left behind. The Indian Scout 60. The Indian Scout 60 was supposed to be the gateway to the Indian brand, a smaller, more affordable cruiser with a heritage-rich vibe. Sporting a 999 cubic centimeter V-twin that put out 78 horsepower and a clean retro look, it debuted at around $10,000, aiming to attract new riders to the iconic marque. But in 2025, it's lagging behind. Despite its reputation, the Scout 60 has been outclassed by modern competition. Chinese brands like Cove are pumping out feature-rich bikes with digital displays, ride modes, and heated grips, all for under $7,000. The Cove 510X, for instance, brings adventure readiness for $6,600 and is stealing market share fast. Meanwhile, the Scout 60 lacks those features. No ride modes, no updated display, just basic ABS and a design that feels stuck in 2016. One reviewer said the bike feels like a throwback, but not in a good way. Used prices are still high, but demand is low. Someone online wrote that their 2023 Scout 60 barely gets any attention now, even after listing it for weeks. If you still want a bike from Indian, the Scout Rogue is a smarter play at $11,250. It offers modern touches and better resale. The Scout 60's vintage charm just isn't enough in 2025. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R. When it launched back in 2006, the Suzuki Boulevard M109R was a showstopper with a massive 1,783 cubic centimeter engine cranking out 128 horsepower and a fat 240mm rear tire. It screamed muscle and style. Its $14,000 price tag was justified by its raw power and bold presence, competing head-to-head with the likes of the Yamaha VMAX and Harley's bigger cruisers. Fast forward to 2025, and the M109R feels like a relic. It's missing today's must-haves. No traction control, no advanced electronics, not even a modern digital display. Just a basic gauge and lots of outdated muscle. Plus, with gas prices soaring, its 32 miles per gallon efficiency is a serious downside. Dealers are desperate to offload them, slashing prices down to $9,000. Still, they're gathering dust. Even insiders at Suzuki admit they're overstocked and that some retailers don't even want to accept new shipments. If you're after a power cruiser with value and tech, the Kawasaki Vulcan 1700 Vaquero offers cruise control, better reliability, and stronger resale for $17,000. The M109R, despite its brawn, is now just another old school bike struggling to keep up. Don't let the looks fool you, it's not worth it in 2025. The Kawasaki Vulcan S. Released in 2015, the Kawasaki Vulcan S carved out a space as a beginner-friendly cruiser. Its 649 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine offered 61 horsepower, and the unique ErgoFit system let riders adjust the seat, handlebars, and foot pegs for a custom fit. For years, it was the go-to for new riders entering the cruiser world. But in 2025, the Vulcan S is seriously behind the curve. Its tech is stuck in the past. No riding modes, no TFT display, and no meaningful updates in nearly a decade. Even worse, rising import taxes have inflated the price, making it less appealing compared to better equipped competitors. One owner said they couldn't even sell theirs for half of what they paid. Dealers are trying to offload them with steep discounts, but they're still not moving. And with so many newer options on the market, it's hard to justify the purchase. For a smarter alternative, the Honda Rebel 500 is winning hearts. It's cheaper, has more updated features, and holds value far better. The Vulcan S once had its moment, but in 2025, it's simply not worth the investment. The BMW R18. BMW took a bold swing in 2020 with the R18, crafting a retro-styled cruiser that paid homage to its 1930s heritage. It boasted the largest boxer engine the company had ever built, a massive 1,802 cubic centimeter mill producing 91 horsepower, covered in chrome and priced at a lofty $17,500. It aimed to steal the spotlight from Harley's Softail lineup. But here in 2025, the R18 is more museum piece than must-have. Its 800+ pound curb weight makes it intimidating for newer riders, and it guzzles gas at just 30 miles per gallon. While cruiser buyers today are leaning toward lighter, more versatile options like the Yamaha Tenere 700, the R18 feels like a polished anchor. Even steep discounts haven't saved it. One dealership listed an R18 at $11,200 on Cycle Trader, and it's been sitting there for months without a single bite. This bike might appeal to collectors or chrome enthusiasts, but for anyone looking for function, comfort, or resale value, it's a no-go. The cruiser scene has moved on, and the R18 just couldn't keep up. If you're after a modern ride that performs without weighing a ton or emptying your wallet, this isn't it. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S. When the Sportster S hit the market in 2021, Harley-Davidson hyped it as the future of the brand. With a muscular 121 horsepower engine, liquid cooling, and a sleek, aggressive silhouette, it was their attempt to blend modern tech with classic Harley soul. It came equipped with a digital display and was priced around $13,500. But the excitement didn't last. By 2025, it's become one of the hardest bikes to sell. Despite heavy promotion, dealerships are overflowing with unsold inventory. One dealer in Texas even joked that the bikes are turning into expensive showroom decorations, calling them $13,000 paperweights. Why the downfall? First, it's heavy, over 500 pounds, and not nearly as agile as other bikes in its class. Second, it's been overshadowed by lower-cost alternatives from Chinese brands like CF Moto, which offer similar features at nearly half the price. Riders online are openly criticizing it, calling it more style than substance. Even with markdowns, the Sportster S just isn't connecting with today's buyers. If you're tempted by the Harley badge, consider saving your money or looking at their more refined models. The Ducati Monster 937. Once hailed as Ducati's flagship naked bike, the Monster 937 combined Italian design flair with sporty performance. Its 937 cubic centimeter engine delivered 111 horsepower, and it came with a lightweight 414-pound frame, a standard quick shifter, and a sleek minimalist look. At $12,500, it was marketed as the stylish yet accessible Ducati. But in 2025, it's become the poster child for what not to buy. The Monster 937 hasn't kept up with market trends. Competitors like the Yamaha MT-09 offer more power, 119 horsepower, better reliability, and cost almost $2,500 less. Riders have also shifted toward adventure bikes like the Triumph Tiger 900 or electric models like the Zero SRF, leaving traditional naked sport bikes like the Monster out in the cold. The biggest issue? Maintenance. Ducati's legendary upkeep costs are no myth. Owners report spending nearly $1,000 every 7,500 miles due to delicate electronics and pricey valve adjustments. One rider said switching to an MT-09 was like cutting his maintenance costs in half and doubling his fun. Dealers are slashing prices down to $9,000, and yet brand new 2023 models are still gathering dust on showroom floors. For anyone eyeing a naked street bike, there are far better choices than the Monster 937 in 2025. It may have the name and the look, but it's a financial headache waiting to happen. So there you have it, 10 bikes that might look cool in the showroom, but in 2025, they're better left behind. Whether it's outdated tech, overpriced parts, or just plain poor resale value, these motorcycles are riding straight into regret. And remember, just because a bike used to be great doesn't mean it still is. If you found this list helpful, hit that like button. It really helps this video reach more riders like you. Got a bike you think should have made the list? Drop it in the comments. We read every one. And if you want to stay ahead of the game with honest bike reviews, real-world riding tips, and buyer warnings, subscribe and ring that bell so you don't get stuck with a two-wheeled mistake.